Morning, everybody. Thought I'd take you with me today. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the garden and our yard and get things battened down. We have that tropical storm that's heading our way. It's supposed to hit tonight, but the majority of it's supposed to be during the day tomorrow. I'm going to try to get if I need tomatoes trellised up, get them all secure. Not a lot I can do about my corn. It's going to be what it is. They're predicting 40 to 57 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts up to 70 plus mile an hour, plus flooding and spawning tornadoes. So yay. 2020 has been a wonderful year. So there's things that we need to do just to make sure that we do everything that we can to try to save as much as we can. You know, who knows how badly we'll get hit. But, you know, I have all of this, but I don't want to take a chance on losing right now. You know, we still have all the tomatoes up, even though I have a love-hate relationship with this trellis of beans. I don't want to lose it. The sunflowers, I'll probably tie at least one thing if there's a support next to them that I can tie them to a support. Is what it is. If those come down, it's not the end of the world, although we really don't want our big, huge, tall one over there. I'll give you a better close-up to come down. I think that's about 13-foot tall now. So anyway, we're gonna get started. Brought my basket in case there's anything to harvest. Probably gonna bring my tomatoes in. Any tomatoes that are even, you know, just blushing, because they're calling for, like I said, flooding rain, anywhere from, I think they said 6 inches ish. So preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. So like I said, thought I'd bring you along. Our fierce hunter's doing battle with a squirrel that was way over there on the fence. She thinks she can come through both 2 fences to get it. I don't know. Let's see. So I'm gonna harvest a lot of the jalapenos and some of the bigger anchos. I don't want, as you can see, this is already leaning pretty heavily, so I don't want to I don't want the wind to get it, because I'm sure even 40 mile an hour winds would not be good for that, being that heavy with fruit. So I'm not gonna take them all off. I'll leave the smaller ones, and I'll stick that up a little bit better. And I'm gonna take that and the jalapenos, everything I can to kind of lighten the load on the plant, at least for the week. Well, it's only supposed to go through tomorrow, is my understanding. Like I said, they said that the worst of it is, I think it's between 9 and 6 tomorrow is what they're saying the worst of it should be. So, but still, that's a long time when you got winds. And I'm not trying to be mean, but you know, the weather forecasters aren't always accurate. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these. So I'm gonna take the bigger ones. I know, like, ideally you want these about 4 inches, but I mean that's pretty decent size. Gosh, there's so many of them that are just at that not quite long enough point, but I know it'll keep producing too. So, and I have 4 other plants right there in that bed. So last night we went ahead and pulled out the acorn squash, and the cucumbers over on the other trellis over there. They were pretty much done with the acorn squash. Had the squash bugs, and there are still some squash bugs that I'm finding on my zucchini plants, but I've been picking every day, or coming out every day and killing them off. picking them off, picking the eggs off. And they seem to be pretty under control. I don't want to like say that they're positively fixed. Oh, this needs to come off. Oh, because that's pretty. Obviously, we have a squash vine borer issue there, but the plant itself still looks in fairly decent shape. So, and I just picked a decent sized zucchini yesterday off of there. So, oh, look, see, there's a bigger adult one. So, no more. As you can see, we do have some powdery mildew on here. Heat and humidity though. You're never gonna come out and do a one and done thing with the squash beetles and have them just be gone for good. They are very prolific. I think they're more prolific than a zucchini plant. But just try to keep on top of it like I do every day. Like, squishing a bug with my hands is not my idea of fun, but I'm gonna do it. It's not that big of a deal, really. Once you get past that initial, oh my gosh, I just squashed a bug in my fingers, you'll be fine, trust me. See, these are lunchbox orange bell peppers, and I really don't want to pull all of those off yet. So I think I'm going to take a chance and just leave that there and hope for the best. I did replant some peas here last night. We also planted out some of the cabbages and that were a little bit bigger, and broccoli in one of the back beds because I didn't want them blowing all over the yard. I think I'm gonna, it's a fairly sturdy sunflower. Let's see if you can see. But I think I might just throw a piece of tape on just to kind of secure it to the trellis a little bit down low. There's nothing I can really do about it up top, so I'll just do what I can down low, like I did with this one. See, this one I had, because this one was growing outward. I think this one's okay. I don't know. He's drooping his head. He's sad. We also came out and bagged what sunflowers we could bag last night too. Just try to get ahead of things. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this sunflower up. I think I'm going to let this cucumber go because they are supposed to get, they're supposed to get like 12 to 15 inches long, and that's not even close to that. So I'm going to take a chance with that. I've got that sunflower tied up. I'm concerned about this pumpkin though. That bag is tied up there fairly well, but I just don't know if it starts swinging. And I'm not sure how to secure it. So I think when Brett gets home, hopefully it won't be raining by then. See if we can put our heads together and figure out something a little bit better to, I should say a little bit better way to tie that one up. Because I'd hate to lose that. It would be the biggest one that would choose to go to the top of the trellis to grow. Here's a better shot of it. The smaller one is hiding right down there because he was smart. Look at all those little demons. All different sizes, and cucumber beetles too, or Mexican bean beetles, I think is what they actually are. And yes, I know I'm crunching my leaves, but it is what it is, guys. That's my motto. Have you guys noticed that? Oh, look at that big old fat adult. And that one would have laid up to 250 eggs. Oh my goodness. I swear we were just out here last night, killing them all, and they were all gone. Like there was none on any leaves. But this is how quickly we must have missed an egg clutch somewhere. A couple days ago by the looks of them though, because these guys are a little bit bigger. See, and they go, this is like a younger one. And then when they're just hatched, when they're newly hatched, they're like a little black speck almost. It's very, they're easy to miss. And that's probably what happened. We just missed some of the babies. Or, and I just thought of that, we pulled that up last night, but we didn't kill the bugs that were on it. Brett just took the whole thing and shoved it into our trash can, and it went right out to the curb. So we were thinking, you know, we've got them out of the garden right away, so there's no sense in like sitting and picking them. But I'm betting that there were some down in the soil, which is where they like to stay, and they've just migrated over here now. So now we're back to doing battle on my zucchini plant. That's the only thing that makes sense, because I hadn't picked, with the number of them that are here, I hadn't picked them off of that. Yeah, I see them all in the, I don't know if you guys can see them in the ground, or in the dirt, I should say. I hadn't picked them off of that plant because I knew it was going right out. So I guess that just makes sense, so it's okay. We'll get them back under control. Look at all the cucumber beetles, or the Mexican bean beetles too. There's one there, and there's a baby cucumber beetle right next to it. And they fly, so. I feel kind of mean, guys, crushing all these poor little bugs. But it's my garden. I don't want... I work hard for my food. I'm a sharing person. But if you get all greedy and try to eat my entire garden, I'm not going to share it with you. Without asking. If they would have asked, I might have been willing to share, but... because I am a sharing person. Let's see. That's a baby beans on here. I don't see really a couple. Oops. And then I throw it on the ground. That looks like someone else threw it on the ground. Perils of having the young girls come out and help you. That's alright. That's how they learn. I might pull these out this week or next week. It depends on how, well, one, how they fare with the storm coming through, but two, this arbor does, or this trellis does fairly well so far, and it's got more blossoms setting. So they, you know, closer up here. So we'll see. I'm gonna take this dill. I'm sure there's gonna be people out there cringing about the way I just trimmed that off there, but I really don't want that regrown in that spot next year. That was all just propagated from last year. Grew on its own. And I want to try to contain it a little bit, so we got some rain last night. We actually got a decent sized storm through here last night, late last night, and people were like, oh, that's the tropical storm. Nope. No, that's not it. It's not supposed to be here for a couple days yet. I hear her, but I'm ignoring her. That whole squeaky wheel theory. She don't like being ignored either. So I'm going to take them even when they're, well, and that one's going to go too. He just wanted to join his friend. I mean, that's a, you know, an orangey. Like I said, part of it is I'm trying to lighten the load on the plant. So I go through these winds. The other part, that one was a little bit too, they fooled me. The other part is, well, there's 3 parts. They'll ripen inside, so I'm not worried about it. They don't have to be in front of a window. Mine set on the dining room table. And I just don't have to worry about them as much, like getting bug damage either. Obviously they're much better if they ripen on the vine, but what do you do? For me, this is what works. If it doesn't work for you and you don't agree with that, that's okay. We all have our different beliefs and thoughts. No problem. I do not judge people by... I don't judge people if their beliefs are different than mine. That's what makes us human, guys. Too much of that going on in the world right now. Too much. We all need to just worry about ourselves and not worry about, as my mom used to say, what Joe Blow down the street's doing. As long as they're not doing something harmful to you or to your family, why stress over it? Why exert that energy? Focus that energy on your household, on your family, on what you want out of your future and how you want to be. Let's just do that, guys. Let's just worry about us. I'm also going to take like this one. I know it's still green, but it's kind of cracked from the rain that we have gotten. So this is one of the Rutgers. I'm not real... I don't know how pleased I am with the Rutgers because they all crack very badly. First year growing them, so maybe it's just the weird weather we've had too, because we've had a lot of rain. Well, okay, check that. We've had rain, drought, rain, drought, rain, drought. So a lot of rain at once. How's that? And so maybe that's most likely what's causing that. So I went ahead and I've tied up, I might tie that one up a little bit more, these stragglers down here, and I've also pruned, which I'm still working on, some of them to try to lighten the load that way a little bit too. So I don't know if you hear that siren in the background. I'm hoping, well, I guess there's really no good thing to hope for with that because that's from the fire department. It could be a call in the area. It could be weather related. It's all different here. So in Michigan we only have those sirens go off for weather related, but these are volunteer departments here, so that's how they get their members attention. That and pagers, they have pagers also. Plus it also lets the citizens know that there's an emergency somewhere in the area so they can use caution in case there's emergency vehicles. So you just never know. It's a guessing game. Anyway, here's the biggest sunflower we have. How tall that is. Now this is a 6-foot tall fence, and it's in a 10-inch deep box. So it's probably, I think last we measured was close to 13 feet. So. Okay, Brett just got home. We're gonna hurry up and try to get as much of this stuff out here taken care of as we can before the skies open up, because it's now thundering. So we'll see how this goes. This camera,
that's garage stuff.
Are you moving this table?
Yes.
Okay, where are we moving?
Over.
Oh, here, I'm putting stuff back on it for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to flip the table over.
All right, hold on.
Do you need any of these labels?
No, they were from stuff earlier. This can go back in the garage. The girls, it's a squirt gun, guys.
Last chance, and I'm also going to stack stuff on it. Get out of there. I know we haven't removed these yet, but I think we need to take them out for this.
You do?
Yeah.
You got one more there? 2 more? 3 more?
3 more to do.
Okay. Alright, so this is what we did real quick.
We still got to do this table.
Hold on, I got 9% battery, so so far we took everything off the railings. Move these together. I don't know if that'll stop them from going anywhere. They have the wheels underneath them. We got a debate going about whether we should lock the wheels or leave them open. We're gonna just try leave them open and just close together. Don't know which direction the wind's coming from either, so it makes it really hard to plan for. Shelby, that is not your food dish. That is my planter. I know it's on the floor now, on the deck now. Hey! Shelby likes to troll and eat dirt. Actually what she's eating is the sticks that is in the mulch. But anyway, so we're just gonna leave all this smaller stuff down here. As you saw, Brett flipped the table over and stacked these chairs to keep them from blowing away, hopefully. We're gonna take the smaller stuff over there, put that in the shed, or the garage, I should say. And hopefully, fingers crossed, that's all we need to do. We're gonna actually take the smaller stuff off this table too. Hopefully my battery lasts and the rain doesn't hit really hard before we get done with all this. I think I'm just gonna set these down underneath the herb bed. They should be alright, don't you think?
That's fine. I don't have a problem with it.
It's not wet, but this. Here comes harder. You want the table up?
Yes. That table is light.
I know. Oh man, here comes the rain.
do?
Got a new battery in there. I'll go ahead and take some of this stuff inside the garage, like my seed start trays and some that didn't survive to make the plant. If I don't fall down the stairs first trying to hold the camera, look at the camera, and walk down the stairs. I'm not that coordinated. Brett's back there doing a not so fun job. I guess before the rain washes it away. And it's part of our messy old garage here, which it's his project for the summers to get it straightened out. So, got some different shelving units in there. We moved some shelving units upstairs to make a makeshift pantry since we have an extra room. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff inside. I wanted to show you this little
Johnny.
I wanted to show you this little watering can that I came up with for the girls for their little beds that they have over. Well, you can't see from here, but they're down there. They have a couple of the tanks for beds. If any of you frequent Aldi's, you might recognize that as the funnel that they have with the funnel cake mix that you can buy. Makes a cute little watering can, right?
Sure.
Because sometimes that big green one is too heavy for the girls to carry when it's loaded with water. So I was telling Brett just a minute ago that I was watching a fellow YouTube channel this afternoon, and he did a segment on another suburban homesteader, and the other guy, his name is Matt, has a compost bin that he has built right in this area, so it's like off of his deck, and our kitchen is actually right there. So I told Brett, I said that'd be a great idea to put a bin there. We just walk out the back door, dump it in, instead of having to walk
Where the raspberry bush?
all the way down there to dump stuff. It'd just be much easier. What would be much easier is if we had chickens, and then we wouldn't have to worry about that. But right now we can't do that. It probably won't happen though. At least not right now.
I told you what we could do.
HOA members watch this. Alright guys, it's starting to rain. The skies are looking pretty gnarly. Starting to. I think this is just the front line band of the storms coming through though from the radar. So. It depends on how strong the winds are.
I mean, 30 to 50, we're used to getting that.
Well, they're looking at 40 to 57 average.
40 to 57
with a 70+ mile an hour gust, the last I saw.
We should be fine as long.
I know.
I mean,
but you never know.
I know.
So I said if we don't plan for it, we'll get 70 mile an hour wind sustained with 90 mile an hour gusts. If we plan for it, we'll get 10 mile an hour winds. So I always err on the side of caution and try to worst case scenario everything. So hopefully all we can do is hope that everything is still upright tomorrow night. Probably actually Wednesday morning is going to be the real assessment, because it's supposed to last most of the day tomorrow, from my understanding, and it could be a little bit longer, you never know. But all of our sunflowers, rain's actually coming down pretty good right now. As you can see, the rain's coming down pretty good now, but I wanted to show you real quick. I don't know. Okay, cross your fingers because it's thundering and lightning. I probably shouldn't be touching metal, but this is bolted down. All four legs of this is bolted down, so The only thing that we could end up having an issue, because we actually have had an issue, if you can see, is the wind with the canopy. It's replaceable though. We just have to put an order in for it if that happens. So anyway, cross your fingers, guys. Look at these. On a side note, look at these cucumbers. It's the heat that's made them curl like this. These are national pickling cucumbers. I think I'm gonna just take those two off of there. And here comes Brett in the rain. Here it comes. And one lemon boy cucumber, or tomato that's not, it's still green, so I'm gonna leave it there. But
it feels good after the day at work. So.
Anyway, oh, you usually complain about getting wet at work.
I didn't get wet at work. I'm getting wet now.
I know. All right. See if I can get the camera to stay on. This is what I ended up harvesting today. A lot of them are not really even that red, but they'll be fine. I'll show you real quickly what I do with them. Like, I have all of these. Ignore the table here. This is right inside the back door, so it's where it gets dropped off. But the majority, ooh, it's hot out there, guys. My camera keeps shutting off, I think because it was so hot. The majority of the tomatoes are out there. I did process a whole bunch of them last night. Here are some more that we picked yesterday that they haven't made it to the table yet for rotation. So I'll show you real quick. We are not the formal dining room kind of people. So it gets used only like twice, 3 times a year, maybe for holidays. So in the interim, it gets used for things that we use when we need it for. And at this moment, I need it for my tomato harvest, my canning jars. The seeds are out. They're not usually out here. They're usually down below, but I didn't put them back last night after I ran out and put some peas in. But here's how I do my tomatoes. So the bunches I showed you on the table, and the ones I just brought in will come in, and they'll go like in this box, or this, like these will move to this box, and they'll go to this box, or I will lay them in a layer. And I have the round basket that's on the table. Like, I'll leave those ones in there and just rotate them around. And these are the ones that are next up to be popped in the freezer. Believe it or not, last night at 10 o'clock, I actually processed this whole box lid. It's because it's just a lid to a box that we got our beef in. I put them all in the freezer. Those last night were all in this box, and the majority of them looked, well, lighter than that actually. I don't even know if I have, like this. So it's 11:15 in the morning now. So 12-ish hours later, and I was rotating them to that box this morning when I got home from dropping the girls off to their moms. This is a lemon boy, so that's supposed to be yellow, so he's in the to be processed box. As you can see, I have onions over there that need to be processed. They're probably going to go in my dehydrator. And some of them I'll chop up and put in the freezer just for quick access. But that's how I do it. I don't see, you can see this room. It's a hot mess. Excuse the hot mess. The window's right there, so there's not direct sunlight on these, and they still ripen that quickly. So don't be afraid to pick them when they blush and bring them inside if you want to make sure that you actually get some of your tomatoes and don't lose them to the weather or don't lose them to insects. It's okay. Do what you want to do, like I said earlier. And this is the way I do it. I want to make sure I put hard work into growing these. These are all started from seed, with the exception of that lemon boy and the Rutgers. The Rutgers I bought when I had we had that last cold frost actually, and it took out a couple of my Roma tomatoes that I had planted that I had started from seed. So I just grabbed a couple of those from the store and filled in the spot. So with the exception of that, everything else I started from seed, and so I want to reap the rewards. I'm still sweating. It's very humid out. It's only going to be in the 80s. I think it's only like, I don't even know if it's 80 yet now, but the humidity level is just like shot up, and I don't know if it's got something to do with this storm coming or what. So excuse I don't even know what I look like. I can't see. So, but anyway, so don't be afraid to bring them in. And everybody does things differently. Some of your friends, family, whatever may, oh no, you gotta leave them on the vine. And they do. I don't think they taste any better. But it's always nice to pick that big red ripe tomato off the vine. But if you can't do it, you can't do it. And if you don't want a chance of losing your crops, don't do it. If you got a lot of rain heading your way like we do right now, pull them in if they have any color to them, because tomatoes soak up water and they'll expand and expand and expand, and then they'll split. And let me see if I have one. Well, like this one. This split is because it got a little bit too much rain or water. It could have been just from a combination of, same with this one. You can still use them because, see, this is scabbed over. It's not moldy or anything. You just cut that part out, and usually it's not deep at all. It's usually just superficial. But they'll split if they get too much too quickly, especially. And so they're predicting, you know, upwards of, you know, anyway, I think it's from 5 to 6 inches of rain or something like that last I heard. That's a lot of rain at one time. Not to mention we had rain last night. And we had rain a couple nights ago. So I'm going to pull in my tomatoes. That's just me. But anyway, so I want to give you guys a quick look at my canning pantry. This is something that was actually, when we moved into the house, was a built-in entertainment center in the family room that stuck out into the family room, and it made it smaller because there was like, they had it curved on a curved wall, so it was kind of like gaps behind it. So we took it out and gave ourselves a little bit more room and put a new wall, like a shiplap wall, and a new entertainment center there that fits against the wall. So long story short, these sat in our garage for a while. They're beautiful built-ins. I didn't want to get rid of them. I kept telling Brett, that's great craftsmanship. It's solid wood. It's real wood, which is like hard to find a lot of times. In manufactured, not manufactured homes, we don't live in but in stick-built homes too. A lot of times they use the press board, I should say. So they sat in our garage for 4 or 5 months, and then finally I said to Brett, why don't we put them in the dining room, and I can put my canned goods on them, because my pantry I have, while it's a decent size, it's not a walk-in. It's like a closet type, but it's pretty deep. Just running out of space. So we put these together. We took some of the old trim off the shiplap that we put up on the wall in there, and we kind of joined it together, because when they come apart in 3 sections, well, technically 6 sections, because the shells and the bases were separate too. So it kind of did a little bit of damage to the wood, but not stability-wise, it's fine. So it's cosmetic. So I was like, that would be really cool, because it would tie it in with the rest of the house. So this is what we have done. And again, excuse the seed boxes right there. They usually go down underneath there. I had them out last night planting seeds. But as you can see, like, I have all my canned goods that I've done so far. Well, majority of them that I've done so far. There are some in the other pantry. Dehydrated foods up here. My 2 dehydrators. Yes, we have an extra microwave. You never know when you might need it. No, it was one I had when I was single, and it's in good shape. I'm not going to get rid of it. We have one above the stove in the new kitchen, or in the kitchen now. So I just brought it. I'm not going to get rid of it. Storage down below. Canning. My stock pots go down here. And my pressure canner, that's DE in that bottle there. That usually doesn't sit in here. It just got brought in a basket and left there. Water bath canner and my pressure canner goes down there. So I still have space to fill up. And I know there's controversy about, oh, they should be stored in a dark room, your canned goods. The only thing it's going to do is reduce the flavor a little bit. Like, it won't make them go bad. And it's not direct sunlight on them. This shelf, it's a little bit of light from outside, but we have a covered porch out front, so it does not shine directly on it ever, anywhere in this room. So we're using what we have. And if you, as you can see, we did the shiplap. I did toy with putting curtains on here. And I put the rods up, and I actually have a pair of curtains that match those on the window. And I had shortened them up, and I had them up there. Neither Brett nor I liked the look of it. It was just too heavy in here. So, I mean, I guess if the option is there, if we start seeing an issue with the food integrity, which I don't see it's going to be an issue, but then we can put them back up real quick. Not a big deal. They came down to this shelf, the curtains did. But, and as you can see here, we have like closet or cupboard doors. That's usually where my seeds set. I just had them pulled out. So yeah, so a little bit about everything really. Oh, here comes the trash man. So the dogs are gonna be mad. Shelby. Shelby is the instigator. She's the littlest, but she'll do that little thing and get Wrigley barking, and then he gets in trouble because, well, he's louder. So anyway, guys, I just want to take you along. Thanks for joining me today, guys. There are more things that we need to do out front also. I showed you the things we did out back, the things I did in the garden, the things that Brett and I did when he got home from work. Trying to get ahead of this because I need some help with the heavy lifting. So like taking those planters down off the railing, they're not light, they're full of dirt. My green stalks, we got to move those. We needed to move those around to make sure. They're heavy. Mine are on the movers, which have wheels, and I've been so torn about whether do we just lock the wheels and leave them in place. Do we leave the wheels unlocked so if we get strong gusts of wind that just blows them around, hopefully, but then we have a deck that has gaps in it with the boards, so it's like, will they catch on that board and flip over? So I think what the solution we came up with hopefully will help. Our gazebo is bolted down, and I'm thinking but we don't know which way the wind's coming from either, so it's hard to predict that, but putting them where we put them, I think was the best solution we could come up with, and we just have to hope, fingers crossed, that everything holds up. And the containers that were on the railing, I'm not worried about them like blowing off the deck. I know that I've had one or two blow off of the rail with the winds, but not like blow across the deck. So just by setting those down like we did, hopefully that takes care of that, and all the littler stuff that we stack in the chairs and that stuff too, because those will blow across the table or across the deck too, and just things you don't think about, I mean, like we have all that stuff out there because we use that stuff. We, believe it or not, I know the table's like dirty right now, but it's because I had starts on it that I put in the garden last night in anticipation of this, so that because they were ready. It was cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower, the first wave of them. I have more starts in here also of those, so God willing, and if anything happens out there, I still have starts in the house that I can put out there. But yeah, so I mean, it's the little things, like I said, the little things you don't think about, like I know there's stuff out front we gotta go move. I gotta take my wind chimes down because I want to have them when I'm done, or when this is all done. Hopefully this is all for nothing. Hopefully all the preparation that we're doing is not needed, and that it's just a regular storm that goes through and everybody stays safe. I have not looked at the weather lately. I'm not sure what is happening down south of us because it's coming right up the coast. So I just kind of worry about, I mean, not to be rude, I worry about people everywhere, but like I'm right now I just have to head down and figure out what we need to do here just in case. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. If you're not new to the channel, thanks guys for coming back. Everybody please stay safe if you're in the path of this. It's a tropical storm now, but just because it's just a tropical storm does not mean that it's not a potential threat, life-threatening situation. If you live in areas that are easily prone to flooding, if you live on the shore, if you live on, you know, a river that's could flood easily, it's still safety. It's still a life-threatening situation. Down trees, down wires, you know, just be safe. Be safe. Use your head. If you don't have to go out, don't go out until it passes through. If they tell you to leave, leave, guys. If you get an evacuation notice, evacuate. I went and filled my car up this morning just to be ready. Usually I have gas in my car, but now I have a full tank and I know how far I can get on it. So, and Brett's done the same thing also. So just be safe, guys, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.